We hear everywhere about all of these DNA kits that you can send away your DNA and get results on your ancestors and find out lots of interesting information and even sometimes medical information on diseases and that sort of thing that can help you out. But the most famous DNA cases are the ones that we see maybe on TV, where they are always going to solve a crime by getting DNA, and sometimes they have to sneak around and get somebody's cup or can. There's just a lot of interesting things that happen with that. Um, can you tell us when someone in law enforcement can really ask for your DNA?
Absolutely, Erica. So there are a variety of ways that law enforcement can get a sample of DNA from an individual. Uh, First is they can issue a subpoena to one of these private companies like 23andMe, MyHeritage, Family Tree DNA, any of these places that you were talking about that do these private DNA testing. Uh, Law enforcement can issue a subpoena to them and they will turn over the results of your DNA test. So when you're submitting your DNA to these individuals, to these companies, you need to be very aware of the rights and the privacy rights that you're giving up in those circumstances. When you are considering giving your DNA to somebody else, be that a law enforcement officer or a private corporation that's going to perform genetic testing for you, you have to understand that you cannot claw that information back once it's given away. If it's a police officer that's asking for a DNA sample, demand a warrant. There are challenges that can be made to the decision to grant the warrant. There are very, very few challenges, and they are very difficult to win if you voluntarily give that DNA up. And likewise, with services like Ancestry.com, 23andMe.com, be really cognizant of how these private corporations are going to use your private information, because I guarantee you that they do not have your best interests at the top of their business plan. The top of their business plan is to make money. And one of the ways that you make money is by being in compliance and doing what law enforcement wants you to do. So there have been cases with these private entities turning over DNA information and innocent people being charged with crimes. There have been cases where, like we talked about with Eleanor Holmes, where individuals were manipulated into turning over DNA evidence and using that DNA evidence against family members. I don't think anybody wants to be in the position where, because they wanted to get an ethnic profile of their history, that they would be happy about the fact that one of their loved ones was charged with and possibly convicted of a heinous crime.